Well, listen up here, Billy Big Rigger. You want to be a big-time trucker, do you? Well, let me tell you a little something you may not know. Every time you step up into that cab of that truck and you get behind the wheel, you are getting behind the wheel of an 80,000-pound missile. Well, that sounds terrifying, doesn't it? My God, what is going on with people? These are CDL holders, guys. These are CDL holders that every time they get up into a truck, it turns into a weapon of mass destruction. Wow, that is absolutely crazy. So I understand the sentiment. Believe me, I do. When people refer to the truck as an 80,000-pound missile. I believe the sentiment is respect the machinery, be respectful of the people around you, because this truck could get a lot of people killed. But you guys know how my brain works. I take everything literally, and every time somebody tells me I'm driving an 80,000-pound missile, I giggle to myself a little bit and then realize I'm not near qualified to have that kind of responsibility at all. I should not be allowed to do that. Anyways, good to see you guys. Happy holidays, I guess. Hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. I went trucking. Yeah, I went trucking. Couple cool things happened yesterday, though, I guess. I went to the Iowa 80. You'll see some B-roll around here somewhere. The world's largest truck stop. And I know I was testing my luck by walking into such a place, because, you know, I'm always getting my ass kicked on Fuel Island. I was like, there's so many fuel islands here. I better be careful. But I went in and I had lunch. Didn't get my ass kicked. So I don't know. I'm starting to think this whole kicking this guy truck's ass on Fuel Island thing is completely made up. I think it's a fantasy. I feel like it's a fantasy because I haven't got beat up on Fuel Island, but I'm starting to think this is a fantasy that exists in a lot of people's heads. So anyways, there was something there, though, at the Iowa 80 that annoyed me yesterday. And you guys can tell me if I'm wrong to be annoyed, if I should just mind my fucking business, or what you think. So the Iowa 80 has a bunch of fast food restaurants in there, you know, your general fast food restaurants. But they do have one sit-down restaurant inside the truck stop. I've never went to that restaurant. But what I noticed was on Thanksgiving, that restaurant was packed out the door with people trying to get in. Now, I didn't know the profession of all the people there. It's entirely possible that a bunch of truckers went there on Thanksgiving, which the lot was pretty damn full. That's probably true. And then they lived close enough that their families came and met them. That's a possibility. But you couldn't get into that restaurant. I mean, it was backed up. People were waiting. Long line. Was anyone else there yesterday? Long line. And if that's the case, then cool. But I didn't feel like this long line of people were truckers. And it's fine. It's a restaurant. That place is operating a business. It's not for truckers only, right? I get that. I totally get that. It was a lot of older people and their families and grandkids and things like that. Like I said, maybe truckers, I don't know, but I'm thinking not. But the part where I got annoyed was, even if you wanted to go in there and sit down and have you a meal as a trucker, because a lot of us still had shit to do on Thanksgiving, right? If we're still out on the road, we probably still had shit to do. I won't accept that as an over-the-road trucker. I expect companies, dispatchers to always be dispatching around that. Like, hey, get me a load before that holiday hits that I'll deliver after, and I'll just keep working. Don't worry about me. So I won't accept sitting on a holiday unless I'm sitting at home. I will bitch. I will complain. As a matter of fact, I was dispatched on like a 700-mile load that was going to be all I did this week, and I told them no. Well, I'm a company driver, so I strongly suggested they find me a bigger load, and they did. I'm on a 2,500-mile load now, so that's pretty awesome. But I was frustrated because if you were a truck driver and you did have to sit for the day, or maybe you were just stopping in to get a meal or something, you could not get into that restaurant. It was packed wall to wall with goofy ass families there, and you couldn't get in. And I wasn't mad at the company, but I thought for a minute, are these people maybe I'm overreacting, but are these people maybe just a little bit inconsiderate of the truck drivers that are out on the road right now? they've got this place so goddamn backed up when they could just drive into fucking Davenport and go anywhere and get something to eat. And that was frustrating. Another funny thing, last night I stopped at a casino. Don't worry, I'm getting to the missile thing in a fucking minute, guys. We're here for a while. Be patient. Anyways, I stopped at this casino last night. I like to go to casinos. I didn't really do a whole lot. Gambled like $40. I was up to about 100 at some point, and then I like to do crazy things at casinos, so I got my $40 up to 100, and then I played a $100 hand of blackjack. I did not win. I did not win, but I wanted to do it anyways. And it was, hey, you know, it's just kind of how it goes. But I had me something to eat, and as I was leaving, there was a girl standing by the wall on my way out of the casino, and she was just standing there puffing on her vape. I rarely see people carry around these big old vapes anymore. I do. But it was kind of funny because she was puffing on her vape, and I was like, oh my god, what a beautiful big vape she has, right? Don't see many people with those. And I'm walking by her, and she's just vaping, and I like caught her attention, just kind of staring at her as I walk by, right? And she like catches me staring at her, and she looks over, and I just stick up my vape, and I go, hell yeah. And she's like, oh hi, with her vape, and I just kept on walking. And I was like, that is probably one of the most awkward neck beard things I've ever done in my life, but I was just excited to see someone else holding a big vape like mine, and I was like, oh god, we're best friends now for just a moment. And then I just kept on walking. But it reminded me of a story. One of my old moderators on the when I used to have the big channel, he was starting to talk to some girl, I guess, and she asked him what he does, like hey, what do you do? And he said, well, you know, in my job, I work in this grocery store, but hey, in my free time, I'm a moderator for a YouTuber. And then he said he just walked away and said, I guess I'm not getting laid tonight, fellas. That's the worst pickup line fucking ever. And I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was funny. Don't try it. If you've got a wrench in this channel, if you're a moderator, don't use that as a pickup line. It won't help. As a matter of fact, it will hinder, if you know what I mean. So anyways, just all of that was fucking hilarious. So I think I got you caught up on what's going on here. It's cold. It's cold out there, guys. As Dad says, it's colder than a witch's tit. I don't know why Dad says that. I don't know why Dad says a lot of the shit Dad says. But I'd like to start incorporating more of Dad's sayings into my videos. So thank you, Dad. It's colder than a witch's tit out here. Anyways, back to this 80,000 pound fucking missile that we're all driving around. I always find it funny when people bring up the 80,000 pound missile thing. I think it's absolutely hilarious. We're talking about just this missile barreling down the fucking road. And like I said towards the beginning of the video, it's because I take things so fucking literally that the first time I heard somebody refer to a truck as an 80,000 pound missile, I actually got scared. And I went, what am I missing? What am I not understanding about this? But it's always funny to me that people reach straight for 80,000 pounds. 80,000 pounds. It's always 80,000 pounds. Well, what if it was a 74,595 pound missile? Would that be different? Because the fact of the matter is, most of the time, most of us don't run at gross. For those of you that don't know, my non-trucker friends, 80,000 pounds is our top legal limit before we start getting into needing permits and things like that to be hauling overweight loads, which in most cases you never deal with that. Me personally, because I'm a lazy trucker, I've never tried very hard. I get out here and I just drive the truck, dry van or reefer for the most part. I've never in my life needed a fucking permit, but I always find it funny that people reach directly for 80,000 pounds. It's 80,000 pounds. God damn it. But anyways, it's just one of the funny things, I guess, in trucking. It's funny to me because I think it actually takes away from the message, right? The overarching message that we want the general public to know about us in trucking, and that is that we are professionals, god damn it, and you will treat us like professionals, and you will respect us, god damn it. And we just want to be accepted by society for the professionals that we are. And then I think for a lot of people looking at trucking and referring to their truck as a missile and then saying, hey, I control that missile, then that makes it sound like they are in control of a very dangerous situation, which sounds really impressive. Sounds like you got some big old balls to be doing this, truck. I'm in full control of this 80,000 pound missile, and nobody knows how hard that is and what could happen if I fucked around for just a minute, because not only would I find out, but everyone around me would find out. And yes, trucks can be very, very dangerous if used the wrong way. It's like anything, like a power tool, a chainsaw, very useful fucking tool. And then you can also cut people up with them. They're pretty versatile. They're pretty fucking versatile, those chainsaws. You can do a lot with them. You can do a lot with them. But I think when the general public hears that as us referring to our trucks as missiles, it doesn't really help our case so much, that we're professionals. And people aren't impressed with that, I don't think, when we see that. The only people that are impressed with it, I think, are the people saying it. That's who I think is really impressed with it. So that's kind of what I get from it. I don't think it does anything to really help with the situation, with how we're viewed by the general public, with how we're viewed by other truck drivers. If you just, I guess I'm weird like that. If you just think logically for a second about what a person is saying, then you can see how absurd that saying is. There's a lot of sayings in our language that don't make a lot of sense. Like, it's colder than a witch's tit, for example. I mean, I don't know. I would think that witches still like to stay warm, you know, and they're always standing over that pot brewing some sort of potion with a fire underneath it. I bet witches' titties are really, really fucking hot now that I think about it. I don't think they're cold at all. I don't think they're cold at all, just like I don't think that the truck is a fucking missile at all. And what I always find funny about it, here, let me tell you another funny story from yesterday. And the reason I'm telling you this story, well, we'll get there. I was driving yesterday. Well, I was trucking, baby. I don't know how to get it through to you guys. I am the greatest thing that's ever happened to trucking. By far, the best trucker that has ever walked this fucking planet. This is all verifiable fact. I'll make a stat sheet or something, and you guys just will finally just be in awe of my fucking awesomeness. So I was being the world's greatest trucker yesterday, right before I got to the Iowa 80, and another truck driver was getting onto the interstate. So I had room to move over like we do, and I moved over, and I'm getting on down the road, and he gets onto the ramp right next to me, you know, and I noticed he was matching my speed. I'm like, ah, damn it, that sucks. I'm sitting by a truck, and we're governed at the same speed. Okay, cool. Now we assess the situation, right? Who's going to blink first? Or are we just going to run this rolling roadblock all the way down the road, next 500 fucking miles? Fuck everyone behind us, right? No, that's not what we're going to do. That sounds completely unreasonable, as a matter of fact. It sounds completely unreasonable for us to do that. So I looked over at him, and he looked over at me, and then he let off a little bit. He slowed down. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, sometimes just looking at a guy, you can be like, hey, what are we going to do here, right? And so he backed off a little bit. I was like, okay, cool. Sounds good. He backed off enough for me to get in front of him, and he comes over, and I go over into that lane in front of him, to which he steps on it, and he just goes around me. And I'm like, okay, whatever, fine. Had it been me in his position, and I'm going to outrun the truck that just let me merge in, I would have probably just kept on going. I don't know. Maybe not. Of course I would have. And then he could move back over after, you know, I got down the road or whatever. But hey, that's the method he chose, and there's nothing wrong with that. Either way, accomplish the same fucking goal. We're both not blocking traffic now. Perfect, right? So then he just whips around me, and he's gone. That boy's gone down the road, right? And I'm driving about a half hour later, and I come up on the same exact truck, and I'm barreling down on this guy, and I'm still going the same speed. Speed limit hasn't changed. No traffic's around. Nothing going on. So I go get in the left lane, go around him. I don't know what he's doing, and I don't really fucking care, if I'm being honest with you. And I start to blow past this guy, and right as I get my tandems right to the front of his truck, I notice he's just sitting right there, just matching my speed. I'm like, God damn it, what is going on with this guy? Flatland, guys. We're on the other side, the east side of Davenport. You get out there west of Davenport, you get some hills, right? But we're over on the east side, flatland. So I notice he's just pacing me, and I'm like, son of a bitch. Now traffic's building up behind us. It's fucking Thanksgiving Day, and everybody's trying to get to the restaurant at the truck stop to prevent us from going in and getting a meal. They're out there trucker blocking or whatever it is they're doing. They probably all went to the restaurant because they thought me and this guy were blocking traffic, and they said they all collectively got together, everybody in the cars behind us, and said, that's it, we're going to that fucking truck stop and we're clogging up that fucking restaurant. So it was probably our fault now that I think about it. Now that I think about it, we probably caused that. But he's just sitting right there, and then he starts slowly moving up on me, and he gets up to my window, his window's with my window, and we're just matching speeds. To which I finally looked over and I mouthed the words to him, "What are you doing?" And he looks over at me and he puts his hands out like, "Oh, be my guest. You are free to go in front of me." And I got in front of him, and I just went on about my day. Now, the reason I tell you that story is because no matter what you say in trucking, there's always someone, and you're already thinking it's someone in the comments that goes, if you would have had a CB, that wouldn't have been a problem. You never would have had that problem if you would have had a CB. You don't need a CB to drive a truck. I'm 10 years, guys. 10 years I've been driving a truck, and I have never, ever needed a CB in my life, except when I was doing the concert tours, because you're backing into darkness. And then you need a CB because there's people around your truck that are guiding you into your spot. To drive a truck down the road, you do not need a CB. There is no fucking use for one, right? But I always laugh at that because there's somebody going, well, how do I know what lane to be in? Holy shit, is that your question? You don't know what lane to be in? God damn, son, there's a lot going on with you that CB ain't gonna fucking help. It's not gonna help. If you can't figure out what lane to put your truck in without the use of a fucking CB, hang it up, hang up the keys, call it, turn in your CDL, just forget about it. Hey, trucking's not for everyone, baby, but if you need help figuring out what lane you're supposed to have your truck in, there's nothing on this fucking planet we can do to help you. We could send you back to trucking school. Maybe they'll go over that with you. I'm not really sure. We could send you to work at Prime. They'll put you in with the trainer for the next 6 months. They'll tell you which lane to be in. You can do this all without a CB, right? But my point is that everybody insists that a truck can only be driven with a CB, right? With the guidance of all the other truckers around you, the council of truckers in your immediate vicinity will tell you what to do with your truck. And that is the only way to be a successful trucker, is if you're constantly on the CB, listening to what's being told to you and giving feedback to everyone else around you at the same time. So now not only are you driving a fucking missile down the road, guys, you are now driving a CB guided missile. It's guided by the other people around you telling you what to do with your truck, because as far as my understanding, you have to have a CB to be a truck driver. You have to. So good for you guys. Good for you guys. A lot of you guys are, I would put on your resume when people ask what you do for a living, like when you, when people ask what you're doing for a living, or if you're applying for jobs and stuff like that, I would say to every one of them, I am a CB guided missile pilot. I get in my missile, I start her up, and then I got no fucking clue what to do. But then I turn on this little box. It's right up here. I turn on this little box, and then as soon as I wait, I have to wait a little while for the radios to clear. I gotta, when people stop saying a bunch of racist stuff on it, then somebody will come on there and say, I ain't got no panties on for some reason. Some guy will come on and say, I ain't got no panties on. I fucked that joke up, didn't I? Damn it. And then when that's all done, I grab that CB mic with one hand. Most people got to use two hands, but they're not as strong as me, right? I grab it with one hand and I go, awaiting orders, sirs. Somebody tell me what to do. And then they start guiding me out onto the interstate from my parking spot. And then from there, when I go to merge into traffic onto the interstate, I say, is there a break in traffic? Is there a break in traffic? I could use the turn signal built into my truck that signals other people that I'm going to move into that lane, but what I really want is for somebody on the CB to come on and tell me what to do. And finally, when we get through all that, I'm in the right lane, and I'm just driving down the road, and I spend the rest of my day awaiting further orders on what lane I'm supposed to be in, because I ain't got no fucking clue. I ain't got no fucking clue what lane I'm supposed to be in. And then that's what I do. I'm a CB guided 80,000 pound missile pilot, and I rarely give my missile any input, but I like to tell the people around me how the fuck they're not driving their missile the right way. So I got the CB in case I see a guy fuck up. I'll be like, hey, you fucking rookie driver, and then he gets the point and he stops being a rookie, and everything is fucking fantastic. And that's what I do. That's what I do. I am a CB guided 80,000 pound missile pilot. Okay? You got it? You got it? So anyways, I don't know how else to put it, guys. I find trucker culture to be hilarious. I find every bit of this to be fucking funny, and I enjoy making fun of it. Because I live it. This is the life I live. I like looking at the stuff that happens out here and realizing how fucking goofy it is sometimes. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. Oh, I got one more funny story though about CBs, because you guys know I'm anti-CB, right? Now, not anti you having a CB. I give a fuck if you have a CB. I don't care. I don't care to have one. I've got no use for one. There is not a situation in the world where a CB is going to save my life or tell me what lane to be in. That would be fucking weird. But I had a truck once, because the truck I was in had broke down, right? The truck I was in had broke down, and I was using a different truck that had a CB in it. As a matter of fact, it had all the goofy super trucker trinkets all over the damn truck. We had a knob on the steering wheel so we could turn. I couldn't back to save my fucking life with that thing, because I'd like turn the wheel and it'd bump into my fucking hands, and I kept getting it caught on shit. It was no fun. No fun having that little knob on the steering wheel at all. At all. I hated it. But I had a CB in it, and I tested this theory one time, because everybody always tells me, Josh, if you would have had a CB, you would have bypassed that traffic jam. You would have been 6 hours down the road while every other rookie out there was just trying to figure out what they were going to do with their lives, because they're just sitting there wasting time. And you would know that, Josh, if you would just get a fucking CB and stop being a little bitch about it. And you just get a damn CB and put it in your truck, right? So I was rolling through Alabama, right? Just trucking down the road, when I saw up ahead of me, traffic was stopped. Okay, I'll stop with the goofy accent. Stop with the goofy accent. But I did. I saw traffic stopped in front of me. So I said, okay. I turned on my CB, right? And nothing useful happened. Everyone was on there talking. Maybe not everyone. Maybe some people weren't talking, but a lot of people were on there talking, right? And you know what they were doing? Talking about how fucking dumb everyone else was. Talking about how that idiot trucker's doing that, and that idiot trucker's doing that, and that idiot trucker's doing that. But I'm a monster because I make fun of idiot truckers on YouTube. Not sure I get it, but whatever. Not sure I get it, but whatever. I actually got on the CB. And I pushed the button and I said, hey guys, what lane are we being in? Or getting in. What lane are we being in? I didn't say that. I said, guys, what lane are we getting in? To which somebody responded, if you would have had your fucking CB on, you would have known what lane we're in. To which I responded, oh fuck, what device am I currently using? Because I was using a CB, right? Did you just tell me over the CB that if I would have had my CB on, then I would know? I'm talking to you on a CB, stupid. What the fuck is going on? You know what got solved that day? Nobody helped anyone. Nobody said a goddamn word about what lane we were supposed to be in that was going to get us through this traffic jam faster, right? But what I heard over and over through that whole time, because I was there for a good hour at least in this traffic jam with the CB on the whole time, was motherfuckers pointing out trucking companies they didn't like. Oh, there's a Swift by me, I better watch out. better watch out, this Swift liable to take my damn mirrors off, you know, or whatever, stupid shit. And then they would see a guy, now this isn't a backup, loads of trucks out there. You couldn't tell who was talking on the CB, what truck they were in or anything. But they would see a guy get into the wrong lane. They still would not say which one was the right or wrong lane at all, but they would see a guy get into the wrong lane and go, oh, this rookie right here must not have a CB on. He got in the wrong lane too. So I asked again, hey guys, what lane are we supposed to be in? Well, rookie, if you would have had your CB on, you would have fucking known that. Sounds like it's your problem now. I've had it on for the last hour, I told him. I said, and you guys haven't said a fucking word about which lane to be in. You just said everyone else is stupid. Everyone else is stupid because they're not in the lane you say we should be in. And literally nothing got solved. Nothing at all. It was the least helpful thing I had ever experienced in my fucking life. It was like back when I was a teenager, when we first started getting like dial-up internet, right? And we had the MSN and AOL chat rooms for you dorks. You dorks. You had to be on MSN or you were a dork. That's just, right? Here I am saying, while you were sitting at your home chatting with strangers from across the globe that you never met before because you couldn't really make any friends in real life, you had to use the right one or you were a real dork. And that's what I'm telling you guys right now. That's the message I'm sending to you. But the point is, this was when I was a teenager, and you go into one of those chat rooms and then you just say something and then just everybody goes crazy and they just start like talking shit, trolling the shit out of each other. Just a bunch of primates throwing feces at each other for the next however many hours you're there. That's what using a CB is like. That's exactly what using a CB is like. Nothing good comes out of it, guys. All right, time for me to hit the road. Time for me to get back at it and quit screwing around. I'll see you guys.